Started out by talking about the STYLO and basically its main features. One of the things that I said was the STYLO had no volume button because I was expecting it to be along the sides of the phone, like the majority of phones that you see. And upon looking closer, what I did realize was it actually does have a volume button, except that this volume button looks like a speaker, strangely enough. Now, on other versions of this phone, the volume button is labeled positive and minus in order to turn this phone volume up and down. This is the power button, as I've already explained, and on the back you have to push here to turn the volume up, and you have to turn the volume down using that. Now, anybody who thinks about this right away will realize, wait a minute, how am I supposed to clearly hit the volume up and down button without making a mistake and hitting the power button? Which is one reason why you never want your volume button anywhere near your power button. But basically, that's what you got right here. You have a volume button on top of a power button, or on bottom of it. So anyway, if you go a little bit deeper into the phone's actual included software, Metro PCS puts in its own newsfeed app right there, and by touching and tapping, as you can see, you have quick access to its newsfeed. The majority of the things in these Android phones, you know, all of it's pretty much standard Android. The thing about it is, depending upon who you get the phone from, they layer their own skin atop the Android version. And some people hate skins layered on top of Android, and some people love having skins layered on top of Android. Samsung has actually gotten pretty good at putting skins on top of their phones. Some other designers haven't gotten that good at it. So, on closer review, what I've noticed is that the web browsing and everything is pretty good on this phone. I don't really have anything to complain about there. Sound quality is pretty decent and clear on this phone. If you're buying on the what is it called? It depends where you live, but if you're buying on one of the low-end phone networks like Boost Mobile, which strangely enough is actually still around, or if you're buying on Sprint, or if you're buying on T-Mobile, you know, a phone like this isn't such a bad deal, especially if you're getting it as an upgrade free, which was the case that I'm dealing with. This was a free upgrade. The web browsing is good. What I've noticed is you have to be careful, because if you get one of the lower end versions of this phone, it gives you less memory to deal with. Like, for instance, if you get the Boost Mobile version of this phone, you'll only have like 3 gigabytes worth of memory, and you'll only have 1 gigabyte of RAM to work with. Now, the problem becomes if you try to use anything more than about 2 apps, you will notice that your memory runs out like almost immediately. So that can be a problem if you're on one of the lower end networks. But other than that, I mean, everything pretty much works as you'd expect it to work. One thing I was looking at was the the storage space. Like, I was looking at the apps, and I was looking at storage space, battery, and power saving. So I'll take a look at that quickly in a minute. But as you can see, 9.98 gigabytes available out of the 16. Because I'm using, now that's the internal storage, mind you. Now the SD card, it shows that there's 14.83 gigabytes available out of a 16 gigabyte SD card. This whole thing about mounting and unmounting SD cards, I really can't stand that. One of my friends had a Galaxy Note 2, and I had her go and buy a 32 gigabyte card, and she had a lot of trouble mounting and unmounting it. And it was a brand new card, it was a Samsung brand card, and she ended up having to take it back and get another one, because originally I wanted her to get the 64, and the 64 gigabyte didn't work in the Galaxy Note 2, even once everything was updated, which I thought was odd. So this thing says that it'll give you about 16 hours and 40 minutes. Usually these really large phones have really large batteries. A battery like this one that's close to 3,000 milliamps, you know, that's going to give you a pretty decent amount of storage space. So that's a good thing. You know, you'll be able to not only have a good amount of storage for your power, But just in case you need more power, you know, you can always buy one of these power banks that they sell for like 30 bucks, just to increase the amount of power that you have, so that you can definitely get through 2 or 3 days if you are in a situation where you won't have access to an outlet. The mapping system, or Google Maps, allows you to easily reroute yourself around traffic, figure out exactly what the best routes are. And this is Yonkers, Manhattan, and everything, and you can clearly see where there's bad traffic right now. It's 10:34 p.m., so most of the people have pretty much gotten off the roads. But I love the ability to actually see where the worst traffic routes are. And this phone allows you to pretty much do that. So as you can see, the blue dot's me. That's me in New York. I'm in New York. And you got Pennsylvania and this, that, and other. Let's see how bad traffic is in Wyoming. Like, there's like nobody there. Oh, gee. What a surprise. Everything's green. Oh, there's no traffic accidents. Nobody hit any moose or anything. Take a second look at the stylus use. So basically, if you take your stylus and you touch the screen recognizes the fact that you're touching it. And then you see that red light come on, and then the screen turns on. Right here, this is the quick writing app, and it says swipe to get to it. And if I go back, I can touch that and hit one of the apps. Like, what is that writing app again? It was there a minute ago. Calculator, clocks, messaging. Okay, quick memo. Tap to add memo. I tried writing on it. It says in drawing mode, drag down with 2 fingers to scroll. Don't show this. Now I'll let you show it again. And you have to touch there to get to the ability to write. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so you know, you can write on it. Buy some milk. Yeah, if you needed to, you can write on it. So as you can see, this stylus doesn't include all of those super tricks that the Galaxy one does, and that's one of the reasons why. If you know, all I can say is this was a free upgrade. If you've got the money, you really need to buy the Galaxy Note instead. Despite the fact that I hate Android phones and I consider them all basically one large pile of garbage, the simple fact of the matter is Samsung sits atop that pile of garbage. So if you can afford it, you really should just buy the Samsung version instead of buying the LG version. Then you get all the really cool gimmicks. Take a quick look at the voice command system on the phone. Let's take a look first at the one that comes on it, and then the Google one.
Say a command.
Open calculator.
Did you say open calculator?
Yes.
Opening.
Takes a long time to open up a damn calculator app, but you know, that's what you're dealing with. So how about if we go to Google Maps and say, hey, where is Walmart? Oh, they got a lot of Walmarts, or they got a Walmart garden center right out there in Fargo. All right, let's try something else. Where is there an escort service? So, you know, this is all basic stuff. Whoa, there's an escort service at the University of Minnesota? Okay, so basically, you know, these are all basic features of these phones. But basically, a lot of people who are getting phones like this, they're just using them as web browsers. You know, they're really not they're not power users. They're not using these things, you know, for all of that stuff that they show you in the commercials. The Google Apps area puts everything Google in the exact same space. So this way you have access to OneDrive and Google's Games. Gmail is your main app and everything. The one thing I kind of don't, the one thing I really don't like about these phones is when it comes time to upgrade your phone, and you have to have done pretty much everything through the Google services, because if you use certain apps that don't back up their things to Google's cloud, sometimes it's hard to transfer things from one phone to the next when it comes time to upgrade phones. You know, for now, this seems like it'll be a decent device, but, you know, I always hope for more, and that's the reason why I stick with Apple. But once again, if you've got the money, you should definitely go with the Samsung version. Notice how long it takes to open. I think the last thing I'd like to look at is the camera app, but in order to do that, I may make another portion of this video where I actually take this phone and use it to actually shoot a video. I think that makes more sense than, you know, videotaping me using the camera. So if I take this phone and make a video and then upload it as an example of a sample, that seems to me to be a fair way to, you know, to assess the video quality of this device. I mean, this is a 13 megapixel camera. It's been tested, and it has pretty much all the typical features you'd expect from a Google camera. So just about all the things that you expect to see are pretty much there. Samsung takes all that an extra step and adds a lot of features that you don't usually see on regular Google cameras, such as the ability to control Samsung brand cameras. So you can use the smartphone as a remote selfie remote, so that this way, if you put your camera on a shelf or something, you can take selfies or whatever, or you can use the recorder when you feel like it. One thing I did notice is if you hit the the video button, I noticed that the phone automatically starts recording, as you can see. Usually on most phones, when you hit the video button, it doesn't simply start recording. It usually, you know, it puts you into basically a pause mode, and you tell it when to start recording. So I thought that was, you know, kind of odd. So if you do push the button in order to get to the video recorder, you basically have to quickly push the pause button just to stop the damn thing from running. Look at that. Does that make any damn sense? I don't know who programmed this thing. That really doesn't make sense to me. So now I gotta push stop again, because I just created 2 videos that I really didn't want. What else? You know, but, you know, for right now, that's the gist of it. Maybe I'll make a video. Maybe I'll take this thing to the beach or something. Make a video with it. It's a straightforward, big screen Android phone. There's absolutely nothing to get excited about, and you're really better off buying the Galaxy whatever version.